For decades, Earth had been a quiet but valued member of the Interstellar Council, a powerful coalition of alien civilizations that worked together to keep peace across the galaxy. Humans had sent explorers, scientists, and diplomats to share knowledge and build friendships, slowly gaining trust among the stars. Earth's technology was growing fast, and its fleet, though small compared to the giants of the Council, was showing signs of remarkable progress. The people of Earth believed they were moving forward in harmony, unaware that beneath the surface of diplomacy, darker forces were at work. The Council, made up of many different alien species, was beginning to see humanity not as a partner, but as a potential threat. Some Council leaders feared that Earth's rapid advancement and unpredictable spirit could upset the delicate balance they had carefully maintained for centuries. Quiet meetings took place behind closed doors, and secret councils formed to decide the fate of humanity without anyone from Earth even knowing. Slowly, a plan was born, a plan to brand Earth as a dangerous rogue planet, to isolate it from allies and justify an overwhelming attack before humanity could become truly powerful. To achieve this, the Council manipulated evidence, planting false reports of Earth's involvement in attacks on other member worlds, crimes it had never committed. They twisted intercepted communications and faked battle footage, spreading rumors and lies through their networks. At first, the accusations seemed too shocking to be true. Earth's diplomats fought desperately to prove their innocence, sending messages and proof of peace, but the Council's propaganda was too strong. One by one, diplomatic channels were cut off without warning. Ambassadors who had once walked the halls of the Council were suddenly told to leave. Their credentials revoked, their messages ignored. Earth was declared an outcast, a danger that must be stopped before it could spread chaos across the galaxy. Panic and disbelief swept through Earth's governments and people. The betrayal was complete and sudden, like a knife in the back. No explanation, no chance for defense, just condemnation. As the news spread, Earth's leaders scrambled to understand what was happening and how to respond. They knew their space. Fleet was still small and outmatched, but they also understood that giving up was not an option. Quietly behind the scenes, Earth's military began to prepare. Shipyards worked day and night to upgrade vessels, convert old cargo ships into war-ready crafts, and train crews for a fight they hoped they would never have to face. Scientists pushed to develop new technologies, weapon systems, and defenses. Every citizen felt the tension building, unsure if the next message from the stars would bring peace or destruction. Meanwhile, far away in the shadowy corridors of the Council's headquarters, the strike force was forming. Massive warships, armed with weapons capable of wiping out entire planets, were assembled and readied. The Council's generals, convinced of humanity's threat, showed no mercy in their planning. Their fleets were equipped with advanced targeting systems and devastating firepower designed to crush Earth's defenses quickly and without mercy. They believed this was a necessary sacrifice to maintain order, but they underestimated human determination and creativity. Earth's people, though betrayed, were not broken. As the Council's fleet grew stronger, Earth's fleet grew smarter. Fueled by a fierce desire to protect home and prove their innocence, suspicion and fear filled the minds of Earth's leaders. Would the Council's strike come before they were ready? Could they hold back the storm? Every day brought new reports of ships disappearing near Earth's borders and strange signals hinting at the Council's preparations. No one knew the exact moment the attack would begin, but all knew it was coming. The galaxy watched silently as a once peaceful alliance cracked beneath the weight of lies and fear. Earth stood alone, its fleet a fragile hope against the overwhelming power of the Council's betrayal. The stage was set for a conflict that would decide not just the fate of one planet, but the future of all humanity among the stars. After the crushing betrayal by the Interstellar Council, Earth's leaders found themselves in a race against time. The full truth behind the Council's actions was still unclear, but the signs of danger became impossible to ignore. Despite their efforts to gather intelligence through spies and advanced sensors, the Council's true intentions remained hidden, in shadows and deception. Earth's commanders worked tirelessly, piecing together fragmented reports of secret fleet movements and unusual energy spikes near the outer colonies. The tension grew heavier each day. As the reality sank in, this was no longer a diplomatic conflict, but a war waiting to explode. Then, without warning, the attack came. Council warships appeared suddenly at the farthest edges of human space, striking with brutal precision. The outer colonies, which had been peaceful and prosperous, were suddenly under siege. Explosions lit up the darkness of space, and distress signals flooded Earth's communication channels. The assault was swift and unexpected, designed to overwhelm, before Earth's fleet could fully mobilize. But humanity's spirit, forged in centuries of struggle and survival, refused to break. The Earth fleet, though smaller and less advanced than the Council's, responded with an intensity that stunned even its own leaders. Commanders issued rapid orders, shifting crews and ships into battle formations that had been drilled but never tested under fire. Engineers raced against time to retrofit aging vessels, transforming them into makeshift warships, armed with whatever weapons they could scavenge or create on the spot. Cargo ships were fitted with missile launchers and energy pulse cannons, while research vessels became mobile repair units. Every scrap of technology was pressed into service. Every person prepared to fight. What Earth lacked in numbers and firepower, it made up for in creativity and determination. Pilots learned to fly with daring maneuvers that confused the enemies. Targeting systems. Tactical teams devised hit-and-run attacks to disrupt the Council's supply lines. In the midst of chaos, the true nature of humanity emerged, a relentless drive to survive and protect what was theirs. The Council's forces had expected a quick victory, an easy crushing of a rebellious world. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that adapted faster than anticipated, using the harsh conditions of space and unexpected strategies to their advantage. The battle was brutal and unpredictable, with losses on both sides, but Earth's defenders refused to retreat. Civilians in the colonies joined the effort as well, volunteering for support roles and sharing their resources. Scientists worked day and night to reverse engineer captured enemy technology, hoping to turn the tide. Across the fleet, a fierce pride grew. Stories of heroism spread like wildfire, inspiring even the most fearful to stand firm. The Council's warships, confident in their superiority, began to question their assumptions as they encountered resistance. Where none had been expected, Earth's fleet, once considered a minor nuisance, was now a force that demanded respect. Each victory, no matter how small, strengthened Earth's resolve. Commanders communicated through encrypted channels, coordinating attacks that struck key enemy positions and slowed their advance. Human ingenuity shone brightest in moments of crisis, as crews improvised solutions on the fly and found new ways to turn disadvantages into strengths. The Council's ships, despite their advanced technology, were caught off guard by the adaptability and unpredictability of their foe. The war in the outer colonies became a symbol of hope for Earth. Even as destruction rained down, humanity's heart beat stronger than ever. The fight was far from over, but one thing was clear: Earth would never bow quietly to betrayal or oppression. With every ship that rose from the ashes of battle, with every plan that turned the tide, humanity proved it was a force to be reckoned with. The outer colonies, though battered, became the first battleground in a war that would decide not just survival, but the right to exist with dignity and freedom. Earth's fleet was no longer just a symbol of defense. It was the spark of rebellion against an unjust order, a beacon of hope shining bright against the dark shadow of the Council's betrayal. The galaxy watched closely, some with fear, others with admiration, as a seemingly small planet showed the true power of will, courage, and unbreakable spirit. The Council's forces entered the battle with a sense of certainty born from centuries of dominance. Believing Earth's resistance to be little more than a brief annoyance before inevitable defeat, their warships moved confidently, armed with weapons and shields far superior to those of the human fleet, expecting the outcome to be decided swiftly. Yet, what they had failed to recognize was the unyielding spirit that defined humanity, the fierce determination to survive and fight. For every inch of their space, Earth's commanders, aware of their technological disadvantages, refused to confront the Council's massive fleets head-on in open space. Instead, They embraced tactics that used speed, cunning, and surprise. Utilizing the dense asteroid belts and nebulae near the outer colonies, human pilots launched swift, unexpected strikes before vanishing into the shadows. These guerrilla tactics frustrated the Council's forces, who found their superior firepower often wasted on empty space. Human ingenuity shone as crews modified their ships for stealth and rapid maneuvering, outfitting older models with experimental cloaking fields and jamming devices that interfered with enemy sensors. Behind the scenes, Earth strategists carefully studied Council battle patterns, learning to anticipate their movements and exploit their weaknesses. In one daring operation, a small squadron led by Captain Amina Torres infiltrated a Council supply convoy, disabling several key vessels without suffering a single loss. The success sent waves of hope and pride across the human colonies, rekindling belief in victory. Stories of bravery spread quickly through communication networks, inspiring civilians and soldiers alike to contribute however they could. Volunteers stepped forward to join militias, engineers worked to repair damaged ships in record time, and scientists collaborated to develop new defenses. The sense of unity became a powerful force, a reminder that the fight was not just military, but deeply personal. Each battle was about protecting homes, families, and the right to exist free from tyranny. As Earth's fleet continued to disrupt, the Council's operations, cracks began to appear within the once mighty coalition. Some alien factions, long uneasy with the Council's secretive leadership and harsh policies, started to question their allegiance. Quiet communications between sympathetic species and Earth's diplomats blossomed into tentative alliances. These alien groups provided valuable intelligence and limited support, sharing technologies and strategic advice that helped Earth adapt further. One such faction, the Volari, known for their skilled pilots and advanced sensor arrays, secretly sent scout ships to monitor Council movements, giving Earth's fleet critical early warnings of incoming attacks. These unexpected partnerships not only bolstered Earth's defenses but also sent a clear message to the Council: their grip on power was weakening. The battle for survival had evolved into a fight for honor and justice, uniting unlikely allies against a common oppressor. On the front lines, the human crews continued to push forward, their actions becoming legends told and retold in colony halls and starship mess rooms. Lieutenant Raj Patel's squadron executed a brilliant ambush that saved an entire colony from destruction, while engineer Lena Kim's rapid retrofit of a damaged cruiser into a mobile command center turned the tide during a critical engagement. These stories, carried on waves of data and word of mouth, lifted spirits and hardened resolve. Each victory, small or large, chipped away at the Council's confidence. Frustration and fear replaced their arrogance as they realized Earth was no longer the passive planet they had dismissed. The conflict grew more intense and unpredictable, with battles raging from asteroid fields to orbital stations, each side learning and adapting in a deadly dance. Earth's fleet, though battered, showed a remarkable ability to recover quickly. Their leaders always thinking several moves ahead, the Council responded with harsher tactics, attempting to blockade supply routes and isolate Earth's colonies. But these efforts often backfired. Human ingenuity once again turned obstacles into opportunities, using salvage operations and underground networks to maintain flow of resources. Meanwhile, diplomatic channels remained open between Earth and the sympathetic factions, fostering hope for a future where the galaxy could be free from the Council's oppressive rule. As the conflict continued, the people of Earth realized that this fight was about more than survival. It was about reclaiming their place in the stars with dignity and justice. The turning tide of battle showed that courage and determination could challenge even the most powerful empires. The galaxy watched in awe as a once underestimated species stood tall, united by a cause greater than themselves, ready to reshape the future with their own hands. After months of relentless fighting, Earth's fleet had grown stronger, its commanders sharper, and its people more determined than ever. The countless battles had forged a new kind of courage and skill among the humans, and their victories had inspired allies across the galaxy. The once small and underestimated fleet now commanded respect and fear in equal measure. Council, shaken by their failures and growing dissent within their ranks, fortified their capital world, believing it to be an impenetrable bastion. But Earth's leaders saw an opportunity, a chance to strike at the heart of their betrayers and end the conflict once and for all. With careful planning, they gathered every available ship, old and new, from every colony and station. Assembling a force capable of a final, decisive blow, the preparations were extensive. Shipyards worked around the clock to repair damage and retrofit vessels with the latest technology adapted from both human innovation and alien allies. Scientists developed new energy shields and weapons that could punch through the Council's defenses. Battle strategies were refined to combine surprise, speed, and overwhelming power. As the fleet launched from Earth's orbit, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The journey to the Council's capital was tense, filled with moments of silence broken only by the steady hum of engines and the quiet chatter of crews readying for battle. On board every ship, the knowledge that this fight was for the future of humanity and freedom burned bright in every heart. When Earth's fleet finally appeared near the Council's homeworld, the enemy was ready, their massive warships lining the orbit in what they believed would be a final shield. But Earth's commanders had anticipated this. They used a combination of stealth approaches and coordinated strikes that fractured the Council's defense lines quickly. Earth's ships moved with precision and speed, weaving through barrages of laser fire and missile storms, responding with devastating counterattacks. The battle was a chaotic storm of light and sound. With explosions ripping through the void and debris scattering across the stars, human pilots pushed their skills to the limit, dodging enemy fire and striking at vulnerable points in massive cruisers and battleships. Engineers on the fly repaired damaged systems, keeping ships in the fight long past what anyone thought possible. As Earth's fleet pressed deeper, their energy weapons tore through the Council's shield generators, opening the path to the capital's surface defenses. Ground forces, waiting in hidden orbital platforms, began their own assault, disabling communications and critical infrastructure. The Council's commanders, stunned by the ferocity and speed of the attack, struggled to regroup. What had started as a confident defense turned into desperate chaos. The capital's cities, once symbols of power and order, became battlegrounds under relentless orbital bombardment. The Council's forces were overwhelmed, their elite fleets shattered, and their command structures in ruins. Earth's fleet, fueled by a powerful mix of justice and rage, left nothing standing in its path. The betrayal that had sparked the war now became the Council's undoing. Their arrogance blinded them to the strength of a united humanity. As the final enemy vessels fell, Earth's commanders declared victory, not in celebration, but in solemn recognition of the cost. The battle had scarred the galaxy, leaving behind ruins and echoes of what once was. Yet from this destruction rose a new respect for humanity's unyielding will and courage. Earth had reclaimed its place as a formidable power among the stars, no longer a mere subject of the Council, but a force capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. The story of Earth's wrath unleashed became legend, a powerful reminder that even in the face of betrayal and overwhelming odds, the human spirit could not be broken. The galaxy would never forget the day when Earth rose from the ashes to claim its destiny, forever changing the balance of power and the meaning of courage. With the fall of the Interstellar Council and the shattering of its corrupt regime, Earth found itself standing at the crossroads of a new era. No longer a sidelined member or a pawn to be used and discarded, humanity stepped boldly into the galactic arena as a leader and a beacon of change. The scars of war were deep, but they served as powerful reminders of the price paid for freedom and the cost of betrayal. Earth's leaders moved quickly to shape this new order, determined that no other world would suffer the same treachery their people had endured. With cautious but determined hands, they began to build a fairer, more transparent alliance of planets. In Species One, founded not on power or fear, but on mutual respect, cooperation, and justice. Diplomats who had once struggled to be heard now took their place at the center of interstellar negotiations, advocating for laws and treaties designed to protect all members, large and small, Strong or weak, the message was clear. The galaxy's future would not be ruled by secret conspiracies or shadowy councils, but by an alliance that honored honesty and equality. Old wounds between species and factions began to heal as Earth extended hands of friendship to former enemies and new allies alike. Trust, fragile but growing, blossomed from the ashes of conflict. Former members of the Council who had opposed the corrupt leadership joined Earth's cause, sharing knowledge and resources to help rebuild and strengthen the alliance. The Valari and other sympathetic species worked side by side with humans to create systems of governance that valued transparency and fair representation. In this new era, Earth's fleet took on a greater role not as an instrument of war, but as a symbol of unity and strength. The same ships that had once been forged in the heat of battle now patrolled the borders of the Alliance, serving as guardians of peace and defenders of justice. Their presence was a constant reminder that even when betrayed, humanity would rise stronger and stand firm in defense of freedom. Yet the memory of the Council's betrayal remained fresh. A cautionary tale told to remind all that vigilance and courage were essential to preserve the hard-won peace. Earth's people understood that their journey had changed not just their own world, but the entire galaxy. They had learned that strength was not measured solely by weapons or numbers, but by the willingness to fight for what was right and to stand united against injustice. Across countless worlds, stories of humanity's resilience inspired others to believe in the power of hope and the possibility of change. The new alliance grew, welcoming diverse civilizations who shared a vision of harmony and fairness. Together, they faced challenges not with fear or suspicion, but with determination and open hearts. As Earth's sun rose over its blue oceans and green forests, a new dawn broke across the galaxy, a dawn of hope, peace, and shared destiny. Humanity's legacy was no longer one of a betrayed people, but of leaders who had transformed pain into progress, division into unity, and darkness into light. The future was uncertain, as all futures are. But one thing was certain: Earth and its allies would face it together, ready to defend justice, freedom, and the right of every species to live without fear. This new chapter in galactic history was not just about survival, it was about building a future where all beings could thrive. And in that future, Earth's fleet would always stand tall, a symbol of the unbreakable human spirit and the promise that no betrayal, no matter how deep, could ever silence the call for justice and freedom.